Charlie Woods, he's got a great swing on him. Let's break it down today and have a look at what he does so well and maybe where he can improve a bit. So let's start off with posture. You'll see nice angles, retains that neutral spine angle, arms hang just outside the shoulders, which we see in a lot of great players. You'll notice a subtle amount of foot flare there with his feet. Really fundamental, solid setup position. So let's bring him back into this takeaway. So camera does move a little bit, so we can't really draw lines on the body too much now. I'd say his takeaway is very a la Tiger. So it's very one piece. The hands are going to almost work back in a straight line, as you can see. And that club head works outside the hands. That shaft's very much outside the hands. We can't see because it's a little bit blurry, but I can assure you that club face matches the spine angle. Loads and loads of width there. Very, very simple. You can see there's not a lot of rotation through the hands there. Very much an upper body movement where he's just turning the upper body, gets a little bit of turn in the lower. It's very similar to Tiger's position here. You can see loads of width in that trail arm, loads of width in that lead arm as well. Lovely traditional one-piece takeaway. So from here, let's see how he moves it. Again, you'll start to see how the body starts to rotate. Apologies, it is a little bit blurry here, but you can see how his hips have got a nice bit of tilt to them. That left knees move down and forward. Nice bit of rotation through the torso. Those hands are pretty much in the center of his chest. He started to cock the wrist ever so slightly there. So let's bring him up now to the top. You'll see that right arm starts to bend, and we'll try and pause him at the top there and just analyze this position. Really, really powerful. You'll see here that left knee's moved a little bit more forward. Nice bit of hip turn. He's got a little bit of bend there in that trail knee. Nice bit of rotation through the thorax. Not overly tilted with the spine. You know, he is only, 15, so he's still got a bit of time to grow. But let's just look at this top of the backswing position. Love that position. Look at that lead wrist. Nice and flat. If anything, slight little bow there. If anything. That right arm, nice structure there. I'd prefer it to be probably a little bit more structured in here rather than going out like so. You know, I think it's that right elbow's a little bit too far out, but very, very structured. It's still a great position. You'll note that club face is a little bit, that's probably not the clearest line. That club face is a little bit stronger than his forearm, so a little bit stronger at the top, but that's great because what that allows him to do, with him only being young, is use the lower body to drive, open up and rotate. I prefer to see that stronger face, especially in adolescence, because it really enables them to use that lower body. But a really, really nice position, a little bit short of parallel, loads of width. Now let's see what happens from here. You'll start to see it's almost a Rory move there, where those hips, watch the knee, that left knee, I'll circle that, left knee goes, that's the first thing, left knee goes, then that left hip starts to drive down a little bit as he's loading into the ground. That's a very, very athletic move. You'll start to see how that right elbow starts to pinch a little bit more toward, can you see that subtle move? It starts to pinch towards the right elbow, starts to pinch towards the left elbow there. You'll also notice how this lead wrist starts to move towards flexion. So very, very subtly, let me take those lines off. You'll start to see how it just moves towards flexion. What that does is it starts to move that club shaft shallower, and it also, with that combination of that right elbow working in and that combination of that left hand working more towards flexion as that forearm rotates as well, it really starts to shallow that club out there. And you can see, look how much he started to drive down through those hips there. You can really see that sort of squat motion. Look at that, boom, that squat motion. I would say probably he needs to work a little bit on this hip height. I'm sure as he gets stronger, that right hip's a little bit high for me, which could get a little bit of back pain. But as he gets a little bit stronger and gets a little bit older, I'm sure he'll be able to fix that because longer term it's probably going to cause a little bit of pain for him. But you can see, look at that lovely amount of shallowing. Look how he's regained that knee bend or increased that knee bend from setup. You can see, boom, and then down, really sort of drives down into the ground here. Lovely, lovely position. And here we'll see it's very, very, very similar to a lot of great players here. You see how that right arm is pretty much, or right elbow should I say, is pretty much below that trail shoulder at this point. That right knee's worked inwards. That right foot is coming off the ground. You can see how much his belt's turned out of the way whilst his chest's still looking that way. Tremendous amount of flexibility. And you'll see here, what I want to just look at is look at the dynamic motion. Look at his pelvis. Watch how it goes down and then boom. So you can see it's moved down there and then up. But I mean, look at that. Let's just freeze at impact. Look at that tremendous amount of athleticism. Look how open his shoulders are. Look how open his hips are. Look at that foot up off the ground. Really, really powerful. You can just see it, and look, as this next frame, watch how he just really throws that left hip back. You can see from his foot how it moves from weight being on his toe into the heel. Watch that. Let me just get the... Watch how that, boom, you see how that goes weight through the toe and then back out. Tremendous amount of speed there created. You can see just in those, I mean, obviously we missed a few frames just with it being a standard camera angle here, but you can see how much he pushes that left hip back. And then what I want you to note is look at the extension through the arms there. Look how straight they are, and look how he started to rotate that gaze out towards the target. You see, not keeping his head down there. Really, I love that move. Really rotating, allowing the head to rotate. Then you see loads and loads of width. Look at that. Look at the motion through the lower body, through into a full finish. I love that swing. Really, really powerful. You can see a lot of elements of tour players within that, especially that dynamic sort of transition movement where he's moving down. You can see why he generates so much speed of that sort of shallowing motion. You can see how it's upright then shallows out. It's a great way of generating speed. Love Charlie's swing. You can see there's a lot of Tiger influence in there. I think Tiger does coach him. Very, very good action. There's obviously a lot of refinement that can be done there, but very solid swing, and I'm sure he loves the game and he keep working hard at it.